It finally happened today. After over 400 days, my long lost CGC shipment came in. I'm not only gonna open it up here, but I'm gonna tell you a little story about why this damn thing took so long. And you're gonna help me sort out who's to blame. Is it me? No. Right off the bat. Is it the store? Maybe. Is it the artist? A little bit. Is it CGC? Who knows? Stick around, let's talk about it. Hello to all my friends out there in YouTube land. It is your good buddy Philtastic Phil here, and I'd like to welcome you back to my channel. As I said in the introduction, I just got an item today from CGC. I ordered in late January 2021. I'm recording this on April 5th, 2022. We're over a year. I looked up on Google how many days before I forgot. I'm going to say over 400 days at this point, no problem. But I want to tell you a little story about this. Then we're going to open it up, and you're going to help me decide who's to blame here. So, late January, if you go back, and this was just right before I started my channel, I had started ordering some store-exclusive variants. And one of the places I decided I liked shopping at was Unknown Comic Book Store. I've gotten some of their variants before. They're okay. I try not to go to them too much now. As you know from my recent goals videos, I feel a certain way about maybe too many variants. I try to at least. But they were offering, for what I thought was a reasonable price, a signed variant from an up-and-coming artist. And they said, yeah, we'll send it out to CGC, you should have it. I feel like I remember them saying you have it back in 6 weeks, but I couldn't find that when I went back to the advertisement or to my receipt. So I pulled the trigger. Now, I knew that the street date for the issue, it's an issue of Marauders, I believe, or is it? I think it is. We'll find out. Was like late February. So I knew I had to, kind of do some math, and I figured, I'll have it. Worst case, I'll have it, by the beginning of the summer. So, pardon me. So, I'm trying to track my shipment through Unknown Comic Book Store, because remember, this hadn't been out to CGC yet. This comic was just printed. I figured they were gonna have it signed at the store and they send it to CGC and that, but no, it was a totally different process. And my other variants come. I kind of figured that they come in separate shipments. Time's going by, a couple months. Finally, we get to the summer, and I called Unknown Comics, and the first guy who picked up was like, oh, yeah, no, trust us, it's with CGC. They're just so backed up. It's probably on a pallet that they haven't even looked at yet. And I thought, okay. And he gave me what he said was a submission number, but I knew just from sending things to CGC before, I was missing a few digits. So, all right, well, I got this guy's name. I got the date and the time we spoke. Let me try CGC. I called CGC, and they're like, yeah, look, first of all, that number that he gave you is not a real number. And second, even if it were, we wouldn't be able to give you that information. It would all go through the vendor, which that made sense to me. And they said, look, I know that we do get pallets from Unknown Comics often. They do a lot of these signatures. Just give it a little bit of time. We'll see what happens. Okay. So, and look, I know if you send anything to CGC now, it's going to take a while. CBCS as well. Look, I've got enough stuff out there at CGC and CBCS that I know, look, just don't hold your breath unless you're paying for the express, which I typically don't. So more time goes by. I'm not seeing any activity. Call, left a message. The Unknown Comic Book Store was, I think, changed locations, physical locations during that time. So I kind of was cutting them a little bit of slack. Tried them back towards the end of last summer, and got a woman. She said, okay, look, here's the deal. We just sent the book to the artist to have him sign it. I was like, what? Can you explain this to me? Because this guy told me, he said, well, look, we did have a pallet of books that went to CGC, but unfortunately they were damaged in shipment. So we did send out the books back to the artist to sign and send directly to CGC, and the artist is in Hawaii. So give it a little bit more time. Great. So at this point, I'm kind of like just checking, and like, you know, I figured in my head, I was like, look, if I don't hear anything by Christmas, I'm just going to tell him, give me my money back, cancel the order. So I finally, after talking to another YouTuber here, who actually had a little bit of a back and forth with the artist in the past, I finally said, you know, let me reach out to the artist. So I messaged Dan, I'm going to butcher his name as I always do, Nakamura, on Instagram, and I said, hey, look, I just want to ask. I ordered these from Unknown Comics. This is the story I was told. Do you have these? Is that true? And he was like, look, I was expecting him to say, yeah, no, they're pulling a lot of shady stuff recently. And that's, to be honest with you, just based on some other conversations I've had with other people on YouTube and Instagram who have had issues with Unknown Comic Book Store. And look, I give anybody who has a comic book store a grain of salt. Give them a grain of salt. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. I give them a lot of credit because this is certainly not an easy business, certainly not during a pandemic, certainly not when you don't even know who to get your books ordered from anymore. So I am a little bit lenient when dealing with retailers directly, not individuals, retailers. And he said, oh no, look, they're on the level. They're true. I have a big stack of books to sign. I just haven't done it yet. I said, all right, that's all I needed to know. So sure enough, about 2 weeks later, we're now into, I'm going to say, late winter, maybe early January. I see a submission pop up in my CGC. It's like, oh, great. This is the book. I guess he finally got it there. And it was just said received. It's like, okay. January goes by. February, still in received. March, still in received. So I finally called CGC and I said, hey, look, here's the story. Can you just tell me what's going on with this? And the woman was like, look, I don't have any information on this in my system, but let me do what I can do and I'll get back to you. It's like, all right, fine. Here's my email address. Here's my phone number. Never heard back, but the following day, I saw it finally changed from received to in grading. And then fast forward just a couple weeks later, and the package is finally here. So without further ado, let me open this up. And I want you to tell me what your thoughts are. Is this Unknown Comic Book's fault for the delay? For not being kind of forthcoming and truthful with me the first time I called and said, yeah, books are damaged, we're waiting on the artist? Is it the artist's fault for sitting on the books, apparently, for a little bit of time? Is it CGC's fault for, I honestly think that it probably wouldn't have moved if I didn't call. Or is it my fault for even going through Unknown Comics? I'm going to tell you it's not my fault. But I'm interested in what your feedback is. So you tell me while I open this up. And it's well packed as CGC typically does. So I'm going to look at the top of it first. I'm not looking at the grade. Yes, it wasn't Marauders. It's X-Men number 18. This is of the prior volume at this point. The Nakayama variant cover. I'll show this off to you. This is my first, is it? Hold on. Yes, this is my first yellow label. But I've been bit by the signature bug. It's not my last, as you may know. And very cool cover. I promise I will show it to you in a little bit. Of course, there's a little bit of scuff from CGC, a little bit of damage. Let me get the plastic off here. It is an X-Men, as I said, number 18. Very cool Storm variant. Signed by Dave Nakayama. 9.8. Yeah, I mean, I'm pleased with the cover. I like it, despite the fact it took forever and a day to get to me. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy with it. It is something that I'm happy to have in the collection. I was trying to see if this is like a limited number on it. It doesn't say that, because he has in this cover here, this little part by his signature, you'll notice a 620 next to the date. Now the book itself came out April 21st. So I guess he made the cover January 2021. I don't know what the 620 refers to. But it's, you know, I don't have enough solos storm covers. There is one that came out after this. I think it was by Shannon Murr that I really like, but that one's way too expensive. Excuse the glare. But yeah, really, really good cover. And happy that it is finally home in the collection. As I said, I do have two other items out there for CGC Signatures. Oh, this was the write-up that they did. Okay, this was some kind of certificate, I was going to say. One of them you saw me pack, the George Perez signing, which is not really a signing at this point. But I'll tell you about that, of course, when that comes. I think that's coming soon. And I do have something out for the Bendis Bagley, signing. Hopefully that'll come home soon. I'm really excited about that one. You're going to be, I think, thrilled to see that one. And there's a couple other signings I may or may not be going into. Like I said, I've been bitten by the signature bug. But yeah, stay tuned to see some more great unboxings and hopefully some more discussion. Well, if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Comment. Tell me, who do you think is at fault? I'm kind of split, to be honest with myself, between Unknown Comics and the artist. And I'm not bagging on David Nakayama at all. You know, look, life happens. I get that. I'm a little bit more pissed, I think, at Unknown, because why not just be forthcoming with it? And, you know, to be honest with you, I kind of would have liked at least a little bit of money back, I think, as compensation for the long wait. But that's just me. I'm just happy I got the book back at this point. And CGC, like I said, it sounded like if I hadn't called them, they wouldn't have done anything. But you tell me who you think is at fault. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace, love, and comics. Take care.